worldwide fans of the planet's hottest entertainment with an edge. I'm Jaime En Fuego, so stoked to be welcoming you to my namesake program, Enfuegotainment. That's right, y'all. Stoked to have you here, and not stoked about the movie that I am about to be discussing here today, because I am here to give you my thoughts about the new Harmony Korine film, whatever. It's the guy who wrote and directed Spring Breakers 7 years ago. Just been chilling, working on smaller projects, whatever. He's been active since the 90s and stuff, and, you know, well-connected and well-respected in certain circles, but this is quite possibly one of the worst movies that I have ever seen, starring Matthew McConaughey and a whole rotating cast of all kinds of wacky, brief cameos as this character goes through the various misadventures and all kinds of just lunacy, basically. So, yeah, here on Enfuegotainment, I always like to cover the Bueno, the Malo, and the Feo. And so, just based on the previews that I saw here, I was just like, you know, it looks like it's trying to be like the new, like, stoner silly comedy. I don't know, Spring Breakers felt borderline exploitative to some degree, especially with that young cast and everything, and then Franco with the dreads and all that silliness. But I found it tolerable, and I chuckled a few times and stuff, and, you know, whatever. I knew some people who thought that movie was absolute trash. This movie is absolute trash, seriously. It's, as far as big budget filmmaking goes, and where you can tell that there is some stylistic lighting and direction and approach, but goddamn is it definitely not in the scripting. But, once again, Bueno, Malo, and Feo, right? So, trying to be a new stoner comedy, trying to be along the lines of, boy, I don't know, it can't hold a candle to anything like Dazed and Confused or Half-Baked, or even, boy, or even like a lower level, like, you know, How High or a Harold and Kumar or anything like that. And legitimately, through the entirety of this movie, characters are blazing, drinking, whatever, it's essentially about McConaughey being this guy named Moondog, which is really funny because about a decade ago I met and became, you know, pretty cool homies with a guy named Moondog, who was also a artist, you know, bearded, long blonde hair, so on and so forth, 100 times more interesting of a character than this particular guy that McConaughey plays. But for whatever reason, everybody in this movie seems to think he's like the shit, man, and he's so brilliant and so great and everything, and he's going around just, you know, boozing and blazing and getting down with every chick imaginable. He's married to Isla, whatever. I love Isla Fisher. I think she's great, hilarious, very talented, and, you know, great in everything from, you know, Wedding Crashers to, you know, various other things. I always get her confused with Amy Adams, but yeah, she's Australian, Amy Adams being American. But, so, yeah, essentially, he reconnects with the wife because he's been living in Key West. He reconnects with the wife in Miami. He's been banging Snoop Dogg, even though they're still technically married, but who cares? He's still banging down all these other women's and doing his own thing down in Key West. They're not living together. She's super rich. She still loves him, even though she's getting down with Snoop, but they reconnect for their daughter's wedding, and some tragedy transpires, and he has to basically face some of his personal demons. So, yeah, Bueno, Malo, Feo, the good is really... It's really tough to find in this movie. I guess beautiful locales in Florida. It's well shot, you know. You can tell that the places they were filming this, there was money put into this movie. These beautiful mansions and the cars they're driving around in, and the excess and the extravagance and all this other stuff. And I guess the cast is good. Some of the cameos are the only bits of amusement that we get in this is from these cameos that last a few scenes. My personal favorite was Martin Lawrence. Martin Lawrence as Captain Whack in this, he really brought some of the only genuine laughs in this movie. He's a guy that takes people on these dolphin tours, and I will admit, the couple scenes that he is in this movie are the best in the entire film, and I grew up watching Martin, man. I love the hell out of Martin Lawrence. I'm stoked he's doing Bad Boys 3 finally. Jonah Hill is in a small role as McConaughey, aka Moondog's agent, and he elicits some chuckles. He's speaking in this drawl, which is funny, and the clubs that he is fond of frequenting are also amusing. And you know, I guess I will give it to Zac Efron in another small cameo role. The ridiculousness of the way his character is written as this. He's basically a Christian metalhead in rehab, and he's blasting Creed, Take Me Higher. And so, I mean, I guess in hindsight, there were just a couple chuckly moments, but all of the laughs come from these cameos, from all the different rotating supporting cast. Snoop Dogg's not funny in this though, and he's been funny in various things from Soul Plane to Undercover Brother. I mean, I've seen Snoop Dogg be very funny. He's not funny in this though. Also, Jimmy Buffett is needlessly in there, so I guess that would be a MALO. But yeah, I guess it's a good-looking movie, and some of these supporting little guest star roles elicit a couple laughs here and there. The bad though is McConaughey. Not even so much his performance, because it's really the way that he is written. And this movie essentially sinks or swims with how much of a piece of crap this character is, especially with the instance after instance after instance, you know, of just absolute lunacy and just terrible stuff that this guy constantly does. The movie sinks or swims by the likability of this character. Everybody in this movie is insane for thinking this guy is so likable. He's not likable. I didn't like his character. Annoyed, irritated, and just bugged the crap out of me. And you know, everyone's like, oh, but he's so lovable, so we can't hold any of this dumb stuff he's doing against him. No, that's my idiot brother. That's Brian in Half Baked. There's various other like stoner archetype, burnout, whatever idiots in various other movies where they're actually endearing characters. McConaughey's Moondog is not an endearing character, and therefore, as opposed to being amused by all the insane, ridiculous antics that this movie just goes beat after beat after beat to, it's not funny. With the exception of those couple times with the guest people popping in and out, McConaughey himself doesn't make me laugh in this movie. I did not like his character. Like I said, it's again, piece of trash. And most of the laughs that they're really going for, especially in like the sex and the drug department, man, I mean, they just don't hit. And I'm sick of talking about this movie, so I'm gonna go right to ugly, because the ugly, the fail is that I'm not getting my 90 minutes of my life back. The ugly is that being on any sort of substance whatsoever will not make this movie funny. Like, legit, will not make this movie more funny. It won't, man. And yeah, go watch a good stoner comedy. You know, go watch something that either has legitimate heart to it, like Half Baked, or is really well written, like Linklater's Dazed and Confused, or I mean, shit, man. I mean, the first Harold and this is even better than those terrible Harold and Kumar sequels that they made, the Christmas one. And I mean, there are so many better stoner comedies than this. The Night Before, Pineapple Express. And this movie sucks, man. And this is going to be the first time since I created an actual numbered system. This is one Fuego Fireball. This is a Feo film. This is an ugly, not funny, stupid in the worst possible way, idiotic waste of time. And if you liked this movie, I really think, I don't know. I guess to quote Thurgood Jenkins, I don't think I'd say this about anybody, but y'all smoke entirely too much reefer. So in any event, I've been Jaime En Fuego, and you can find me on all social media sectors like Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and here where you're watching me on YouTube. Since restarting the Enfuegotainment coverage this past year, I did all 8 of the Best Picture nominations at the Oscars this past year reviews. I'd like to do at least a couple new reviews, whether it's an older film or TV bid or something like that, or a new film like you usually see every Thursday or Fresca Friday, which is when you are seeing this. And this movie wasted my time, and hopefully this review didn't waste your time, because I'm sent, like, in these 10, 12 minutes, whatever the hell it is, and I ended up wasting my time talking about this. I went through the process with hopes that you won't waste your time with this movie. I honestly like the Serenity movie better. That stupid turd that I saw McConaughey in earlier this year. You guys know, I don't typically rage about movies when they're bad, but this is legit one of the worst movies in recent memory that I have seen. God damn, is it terrible. If you want to see us talk about horror stuff, I spend a lot of time on the Horror Show channel, youtube.com/the Horror Show channel, just like it's spelled down there. But honestly, I gotta put something better on to just wash the terrible taste of this film out of my mouth. So until the Reel of Ka comes around once more, hasta luego, cinemigos and constant viewers, I hope that it's sooner rather than later that I get to talk to you about a better movie. So until then, peace out, and it can't come quick enough.